Water pollution is described as the release of substances into surface of groundwater, rivers, waterways, coastal water area, lake, and seawater to the point that the substances obstruct the beneficial water use or ecological function. Pollution could come from a wide range of sources, which are typically classified as either point or non-point sources. As for point sources, it has specific detectable source, either a wastewater pipe, while for non-point source, come from water that runoff picks up the contaminants scattered on the ground. How to know when the water is polluted? There is two major methods. First one is to take the water samples and test the quantities of various chemicals in them. It may consider the water is polluted if the contaminants are toxic or the concentration are too high. This measurement is called chemical indicator water quality. Second one is biological indicator. By checking the water quality to examine the fish or marine creatures that the water can provide. If there is no fish in the river, the quality is clearly much lower.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Firdaus bin Muhammad Zuhair. I am from class AS2291C. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about water pollution in river. A river is described as a massive herbal circulation of water flow into the ocean and lake, or maybe a different frame of water, and generally fed alongside a route via a means of converging tributary. Moving waters like river and stream decompose pollutant more swiftly than static or status water. However, many moving waters are considered to be polluted all over the world. The main factor or reason for this thing to occur is that every three essential sources of pollution, that is industry, agriculture, and domestic, are alongside within the rivers. Most of the factories and industries are traditionally built and placed alongside the river due to the fact that the river offers them transportation for the waste. Rivers also feature a handy region, a place to discharge waste. Activities regarding agriculture tend to be focused close to the river, since rivers are quite fertile because of the various vitamins which are deposited within the soil with the river flow. Chemical waste from most of the industrial process are usually released into the stream accidentally or even with purpose. Mercury, cyanide, zinc, lead, and cadmium are the popular examples of substances that are being released into the river. All of these substances are discharged into the river with a high level of concentration that could kill the aquatic creatures like fish and plant in an instant. This pollutant also might affect the food chain. For example, when birds consume fish as its food, bird might be dead eventually, since birds consume fish as their food. This obviously will harm non-aquatic living too. From the agricultural aspect, fertilizer and pesticide are the main subject for water pollution. Almost all farmers in this world use pesticide and fertilization to enhance the growth of their plants. Fertilizer as catalyst of growing and pesticides as the protection of insects. These two substances can be washed by the rain into the soil and carried away to the river. The concentration of phosphate and nitrate will increase drastically if the farmer use a massive number of fertilizer and pesticide. This substance also boosts up the plant in the river, especially algae. As algae grows bigger, it will cause water pollution that is called eutrophication. Bacteria will act when algae stop growing and die. This activity by bacteria that have a rapid multiplication will consume more oxygen and cause the aquatic living to die.
Hi, my name is Nur Izin Edina binti Abdul Halim. Now I'll be talking about coastal water. Coastal water is known as the interface between land and ocean, which directly connected to the rivers, bays, harbour, and etc. related to it. Based on the Water Framework Directive, the coastal water comprises water that has not been identified yet as the transitional water extending 1 nautical mile from a baseline described by the land points where territorial are determined. Coastal water plays an important role in purifying effluent and removing pollutants conveyed by rivers and sewers and deposited from the atmosphere. They also provide habitat for many other organisms such as marine creatures, mammals, corals, sea turtles, and submerged aquatic vegetation. For pollutants, beachgoers tend to litter everywhere. They simply throw plastic wrappers, plastic bottles, cigarette butts, and many more behind. When the rain comes, it will wash all the trash away and goes to the coastal water area. As a result, the marine creature will suffer and die as they eat the plastic that mimics the food. Moreover, carbon and climate change have a significant effect on water temperature, which affect the ocean ecosystem and fish population. In particular, the rising levels of carbon dioxide will acidify the ocean in the form of acid rain. Even though the ocean can absorb carbon dioxide that originates from atmosphere, the carbon dioxide levels are increasing steadily. Due to the rising of ocean temperature, it will not be able to keep up the pace. For the effect of coastal water pollution, the oxygen level will declining. This is because most of the debris in the ocean does not decompose and remain in the ocean for years. It uses as it degrades. As the consequences, oxygen level depleted. When the oxygen levels goes down, the chances of survival marine animals like turtle, shark, penguin for a long time also goes down. The disruption of coral reef also will occur, even though the coral reef needs sunlight for photosynthesis, but they also need fish in order to maintain ecosystem and food. When there is no fish left near the coastal water, the coral reef will eventually having a hard time to survive, as they mostly depends on fish to stay alive. As the fish excreted, that is the food for some coral reef.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Hidayati Hanis binti Nosfi, and I will present about water pollution in seawater. Water pollution in seawater, also known as ocean pollution, is started from the introduction of harmful substances into the ocean, such as oil, plastic industrial and agricultural waste, and chemical particulate. Excessive human activity has had a negatively impact on marine life in the Earth's oceans for over the last few decades. Oceans are home to a diverse range of marine animals and plants, so it is the responsibility of every citizen to contribute to keeping these oceans clean. Marine environment is one of the biggest contributors to Malaysia ecotourism. In Malaysia, marine environment are generally rich in marine biodiversity because Malaysia has many islands, coastal areas and seas. Marine environment has faced serious problems for over the last few years, primarily as a result of water pollution. The major contributors to marine pollution have been identified as urbanization and industrialization along coastal areas and from the mainland. These are deteriorating all over the world. Too many fish are caught, too much garbage is thrown into the sea, and too many pollutants from the land end up in the sea. First pollutant is oil. Oil pollution is primarily caused by diffuse sources, stormwater drainage from cities and farms, untreated waste disposal from factories and industrial facilities, and unregulated recreational boating all contribute to oil entering the ocean. Oil pollution can cause the intermediate consequence that may include mass mortality and contamination of fish and wildlife. But long-term ecological consequences may include disruption of the marine food chain and species population decline. This also can cause the oil covering the feathers of birds and the gills of fish and any other marine life. Second pollutant is nutrient pollution. Chemical concentrations such as nitrogen and phosphorus can increase the explosive growth of algae. When these algae sink and die, the oxygen in the bottom of the sea is depleted by their decomposition. Algae bloom not only harm fish, but they can also contribute to the loss of seagrass beds and coral habitat, as well as the deterioration of water quality. This type of population occur when human activities, most noticeably the use of fertilizer on farms, cause chemical runoff into water, which eventually flow into the ocean. The last one is marine debris. Consumption of marine debris and entanglement in debris can endanger seabirds, marine mammals, and other sea life. Many marine species are already threatened or endangered, and debris worsen the situation. If the animal is unable to move, consume food, or avoid predator entrapment and ingestion, it can result in death. Water pollution in seawater can affect both humans and marine animals. For humans, we can suffer from several diseases by consuming raw or improperly processed fish and shellfish that have ingested and accumulate microorganisms that are infective to humans, such as microbial pathogens that cause hepatitis or typhoid fever. Also, by consuming marine animals that have been chemically poisoned with paralytic and other toxins derived from algae, as well as toxic level of industrial chemical. For marine animal, unmanageable water pollution can cause death and extinction.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir Rafiq, and now I'm going to talk about X mining lakes. Mining is an activity of obtaining geological minerals from the earth. The earliest mining activity was being operated in 1824, which is tin mining. Then, after a few years, mining was finally legalized for the first time in 1994 with the Mineral Development Act and State Mineral Enactment. In 1997, Malaysia was at its prime as Malaysia was the second in producing tin. However, throughout the years, these mining areas are slowly turning into a deserted place, as most companies, factories, organizations didn't take any accountability on redoing or restoring the site, thus making ex-mining sites to become one of the main sources of water pollution. The pollutants that can be found in ex-mining lakes are heavy metals and acid mine drainage. Heavy metals are groups of elements that is very toxic and dangerous to living things. Heavy metals can be easily detected as they have a greater density than others, which are more than 5 gram per centimeter cube. Examples of heavy metals are lead, copper, cobalt, zinc, arsenic, and many more. When these metals are being discharged from the mining activity, they will react to any ion exchange, adsorption, and precipitation. And these heavy metals is very bad to our health. Next is the acid mine drainage. AMD, acid mine drainage, is an acidic waste, sulfuric acid to be exact, that was being produced by the mining process. This reaction happens when an open pit of a mining site that contains sulfide minerals will react with water and oxygen to produce sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is known to be a very strong acid with a very low pH number, thus making all the lakes in mining sites very acidic. The effects of heavy metal can damage the functioning of our organs and can lead to many diseases, especially neurological, physical, cardiovascular disorder, and can even have the risk of having diabetes and cancer. For the AMD, this water will be too acidic to consume by any living things. Therefore, living things, especially marine life, could not survive, could not live in this kind of state. So, what are the precautions? The precautions that we can do is restoring the mining site after finishing any projects. Second, for the AMD, the government can build an inventory to help cleaning process of the sulfuric acid. And last but not least is to use bactericide gases bactericide sprays to prevent the acid from forming and the solubilization of metals in water.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Lufil Hadi bin Muhammad Raimi, and now I would like to talk about groundwater. Human presence is almost often the cause of groundwater poisoning. Groundwater is particularly vulnerable in regions where population density is high and land use is intensive. More than half of the world's population and almost everyone who lives in rural areas depend on groundwater for their drinking water. Gravel, sand, sandstone, or broken rocks such as limestone are common components of aquifer. Water can pass through these materials because they are permeable enough due to their vast linked spaces. Rain and snow melt seep deep in the cracks and crevices under the land's crust, replenishing and recharging groundwater sources. Human actions have polluted resources in some regions. In general, how does the groundwater become contaminated and polluted? The answer is, it is determined by the physical, chemical, and biological properties of the substance. Now, we move on to pollutants. For the first one, it comes from fertilizers and pesticides. Crops processing uses millions of tons of fertilizers and pesticides, including herbicides, insecticides, rodenticides, and fungicides per year. Several extremely poisonous chemicals have polluted groundwater. The second one is natural sources. Other naturally occurring compounds such as decaying organic matter may pass into the groundwater as spores, whether or not any of these substances appear in groundwater as a function of local conditions. And lastly, the effect of the pollutants. As for all the pollutions occurred, absolutely there has to be some implications regarding on human behavior in managing this groundwater situation. Firstly, it comes from the crops, where nitrate ions in the stomach, colon, and bladder can convert some of the nitrate ions in drinking water to organic compounds that can cause cancer in more than 40 species of animals. Next, the conversion of nitrates in tap water to nitrates in infants under 6 months old can cause potential fatal condition known as blue baby syndromes, which blood lacks the ability to carry sufficient oxygen to blood cells. All in all, preventing groundwater contamination is the only effective and affordable way to deal with this serious water pollution problem.